Hello and welcome to Media Watch. I'm Linda Byers. Our program is sponsored by KTXT and the Texas Tech chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists. Media Watch is an attempt to give the Lubbock community a view at some of the media ethics that must go into process when deciding what to show for the news. On my panel is Linda Burke, editor of the University Daily, Wendy Lane, Lubbock Associated Press correspondent, and Skip Watson, news director of KCBD Channel 11. Skip, comments have been made that the media has become more of a business trying to sell a product instead of performing a public service. Do you feel that the news has become more entertaining than informing?
To some degree. I'll agree with that statement. In that there's been a lot of processing going on where you now give the news, probably more in capsule form, and then you move on to other information that people have indicated they want to know. You see it not just in television, you see it in newspapers with USA Today, you see it in some features that come across wires, but people want to know more about their community and simply the taxes and the police news. They want to know how to live their lives. They want to know, tell me something about for ingrown toenails, tell me something I can do to make my dollars.
Flying among the clouds in a light aircraft may be an exciting experience for many, but others may have a difficult time enjoying the ride. Members of Lubbock's 99s want people to know that flying is fun as well as safe. The 99s is an international women's piloting organization that began in the times of Amelia Earhart. The group got its name from the 99 original members. The pilots say stories of airplane crashes and a general fear of the unknown is a big factor in the fear of flying.
I would say they're afraid the plane will fall out of the air. They're afraid it'll crash. Each little air bump, if it's not explained to them, you know, they get very panicky.
The pilots discuss a safety issue at each meeting and offer a course every other year for non-pilots. This course, called Sky Pals, attempts to relieve some fears of flying by teaching non-pilots about the operation of small planes. These pilots are trained just like the pilots of commercial airlines.
There's numerous items we have to go through before we ever even turn the key over to get in a plane. A lot of regulations and rules that we have to follow to make it safe.
99 members want people to feel confident about flying in small aircrafts so that they can enjoy the trip. For Action News Update, I'm Linda Byers. Virginia Lynch of D&L Hatters knows what it takes to make a good hat. She should. She's had more than 50 years of practice. Lynch says the need for a traditional hat maker was much greater when she started in 1931. That's when you had to work with what you had.
You couldn't just order everything you wanted, you know. You had to just take your hat and clean it and wash your ribbons and wash your linings and iron them and wash the sweatband and put all of it back in there. Of course, now you can order all that new and put it on there.
9 years after she received her diploma from a Lubbock business school in 1931, Virginia Lynch met her future husband, whose father owned the hat shop where she still works.
My husband made this for a man that lived in Arizona back in 1937. And he wore it 17 years before he put the first tack in it here to hold the crown together.
Lynch says it takes about 4 hours to make a good hat, and she tries to get the exact shape of the head so that the hat will fit properly. She uses this machine to do that. It came from France and is one of only 4 in the United States. She says a lot of things have changed during the last half century, but the biggest change has been the prices.
When I first started here, we could make one for $19. That covered the cost of everything and left you a little profit.
Today's hats can cost hundreds of dollars, but lots of people are still ready to pay it. So our hats off to this 77-year-old woman who says she'll keep on turning out hats till she's 100. Linda Byers, Action News Update.
If you're an avid music lover, brace yourself because yet another radio station will be joining the current lineup. As of tomorrow, classical radio station KOHM FM will go on the air at 89.1 on your dial. KMAC's Linda Byers tells us more about the struggle it took to get this project onto the airwaves.
Tomorrow at 9 p.m., KOHM FM will begin airing classical music to the Lubbock area. This non-commercial station will get underway with a live broadcast from a celebration held at the Barcelona Court Hotel. Texas Tech professor and KOHM general manager Dr. Clive Kinghorn says this project has taken 4 years to become a reality. He adds that although $85,000 was raised a year and a half ago to purchase equipment, the station will look to support from businesses and listener radiothons to survive.
When we go on the air, we're going to go on the air in the hole because it took more to buy the equipment than we had available to us. So we're going to need the listener support to...
KOHM is located in the Tech Journalism Building and will be on the air from 10 in the morning to 10 at night, manned by volunteers. More than 50 volunteers have already gone through orientation and training sessions to learn how to operate the dials and gadgets. Kinghorn says the support from Lubbock citizens doesn't come as a big surprise.
If we'd have thought there was any doubt that the community didn't want this, there's no way we would have done it. And we felt like that Lubbock needs a classical station because it's not available.
Volunteer Sarah McClarty says that many Lubbock citizens have an interest in a classical station and that the programming offered by other radio stations just hasn't been enough.
And also it's a way for people to get to listen from the time they're very young. And some people say they don't like classical music and some people never will, but if the earlier you hear it, the more likely you are to be able to enjoy it, as with any other music. And everybody has a chance to listen to rock and roll and country and western.
KOHM will receive 9 hours of programming from the Beethoven Satellite Network in Chicago and will offer 3 hours of local programming. So if you enjoy listening to masterpieces from the likes of Mozart and Strauss, or if you like the newest in jazz music, this radio station will be for you. Linda Byers, Action News Update.
And Linda says that if you're interested in volunteering any amount of time to KOHM, you should attend the next orientation session. That's at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, May 4th in Tech's Mass Communications Building. Or if you need more information, call the number on your screen. Tomorrow, KOHM will broadcast from 9 p.m. until midnight. 98.1 will resume its normal 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. schedule on Tuesday. The arrival... And finally this evening, making friends is one of the most hardest things to do when you move to a different town, but it can be a more frightening experience if you move to another country.
That's true, Scott. Becoming familiar with your new surroundings often takes a lot of time, but we found a Japanese